Yo, so we have four fights right before we get to the last two, and we've got a debut amongst those four. Right, we start off with a couple of heavyweight fights. The first being, actually, we got three. No, no, it's just two, bruh. Yeah, we start off with Tuivasa against Louie Sutherland. Okie dokie, right? So, yeah, I mean, Louie Sutherland, right? Vanilla Gorilla came to this card on, I think, a week notice, if that, right? Maybe 2 weeks. He's 32, 6'3", 76-inch reach, 10 overall record. Okay, and yeah, he's 2-0. Sorry, 0-2 in the UFC. Right, lost his first two fights, and man, like he fights with, he trains with Aspinall, I believe. You know, so I think he was doing his thing on the regionals, right? Out of gosh, what is this promotion? Levels, I think it is. Yeah, Levels Fight League. You know, he was doing his thing there. Got a late notice call up. But it's against Walter Walker, right? And man, just in all the build up to this fight, he's just like, I'm just gonna not let him get to my leg. Right? And if I do that, I'll knock him out. And oh my gosh, this fight was crazy because he kind of just gave his leg away. It was bonkers, right? When you're watching it, you're like, yo, there's a moment he can get out. And he does not. I think he just throws punches. And you're just like, oh no. Right? And yeah, I took home that heel that night. Right? So that was October. His last fight was 21st of March this year. Got knocked out in the first by Brando Peričić, right? Who's fighting on this card. Next fight, actually. So yeah, that was the 21st of that was the 21st of March this year. So another one where you're like, isn't that a bit soon? Right? Isn't that a bit soon to take this fight? You know? And against Tuivasa, who does have, you know, some power in the hands. So it's not, you know, it's not a walkover fight, right? It's not easy. There is definitely, you know, the potential to get your brain scrambled a bit more. And after being knocked out just a month ago, yeah, it's a crazy fight. So it's definitely a crazy one, right? And so, yes, up against Tai Tuivasa, bam, bam. He's 33, 6'2", 75-inch reach, 14-9 overall. You know what I mean? Like, he's a fan favorite, right? He's 8-9 in the UFC. Does the shoey, which is disgusting. It's so disgusting, man. Yeah, the crowd love him, you know? But he's on a 6-fight skid. A 6-fight skid, which is just not good. You know? Like, in the past, he's come back from a 3-fight, but this is 6. Right? And he started off 3 wins, right? 2 stoppages and a decision. Those are his first 3 fights. He was looking very good. But then it was Junior Dos Santos, Blogai Ivanov, and Sergei Spivak. Right, bounce back though, win over Stefan Struve, Harry Hunchstucker, Greg Hardy, Augusto Saki, right? Derek Lewis. So you're just like, oh shit. Which then got him the big fight, Cyril Gane. It, got a fight of the night, but, he got stopped in the third. Now, he did wobble Gane, right? But it just didn't happen, right? Didn't happen. And yeah, it was the start of this skid. It was Gane, then Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov, right? Marcin Tybura, Jairzinho Rosenstruck, and then Taliesin Teixeira. So Ty needs this badly. If he loses, I think that's it, right? I think if he loses, I think that's it. And I also think possibly that might be a gloves down, because look, he's fought some tough people, right? He's definitely had some tough fights, right? The Gane fight, for sure, tough, right? Volkov, you know what I mean? Louie, like, these are tough fights. But I think he's going to think, if I can't beat Louie Sutherland, I'm never getting at the title, right? I'm never going to, achieve much more. So it might, maybe that happens. Who knows? But this is basically the fight for Ty. I think this is one of those ones. It's not a given, obviously, but I think this is his best opportunity for a win. But I think it's a confidence thing. I don't think Ty has necessarily looked confident, right? I don't think he's looked sharp. I don't think he's looked in the place you want him to be to have a fucking fist fight. You know what I mean? So I think with this one, I'm going to take Louie for his first win. Now, I can definitely go the other direction, right? I wouldn't say this is a fight you put money on. You know what I mean? I just think it's not one of them. And you hope it's not going to be, right, one of those ones where they just do not engage, right? I forget who it was just a couple of weeks ago. Oh, that was so bad, right? So we hope it's not going to be that, but there is a lot on the line for both guys. So it could be, right? It could be a snoozer. So our next one is Shamil Gaziev against Brando Peričić. Right, the Balkan Bear, Brando Peričić, is 31, 6'5", 79.5-inch reach, 6-1 overall. Okay, he's fighting out of City Kickboxing. He's 2-0 in the UFC on a 6-fight win streak. So he made that debut 27th of September last year, beat Elliott Ellison, first round knockout, and then another one over none other than Louie Sutherland, right? Just a few weeks back, which is, yeah, the feeling on that one, right? So, he's been doing his thing, right? He's got some stoppages. He was submitted. His loss was a rear naked submission. So, but that was all the way back in 2024, which is, so he's had plenty of time to perfect, right, that submission defense. The fight before, he did win himself by rear naked, so you know what I mean. But I think he's had the time to work on that against Shamil Gaziev, who's 36, 6'4", 78.5-inch reach, 14-2 overall. Also coming off of a loss in his last outing. He's 3-2 in the UFC. Came via the Contender Series. Right, so he got that contract 19th of September 2023. He choked out Greg Velasco. Made his debut later that year, 16th of December. Knocked out Martin Buday in the second round. Right, so he had to retire at the end of the fourth against Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Got a decision over Dontel Mays. He then beat Thomas Pedersen, first round stoppage. But yes, then he, he came up against Waldo Costa, Cortez Acosta, right? And got stopped. So, I mean, it's one of those things, right? It's just one of those things for Shamil. We have got, it's an interesting matchup. This is really irritating because, man, I recorded a whole good bit and the video crashed. So I can't remember what I said, but yeah, I think with this one, we're taking Brando Peričić for the win. Right, so next we drop down to the featherweights. We have Marwan Rahiki against Ollie Schmid. And, this was one of those fights that came together short notice, right? So Ollie Schmid, he's 25, 5'11". We don't have the reach. The Hungarian stallion. He's 4-2. Comes out of Kid City Kickboxing. Right? This is his debut. He last fought 7th of March. Right? Got a back fist knockout in the opening seconds of the first round. So, not really, probably didn't take any damage, so it makes sense to take a short notice, right? And definitely if it's getting you in the big show, right? As we've said with some of the other players on the card who are at City Kickboxing, being around this caliber of, squad, that's definitely a huge one, right? Just being around them, maybe coming to fight week with them, their training camps, just all of those things are, right, it's insight. You know what I mean? It's insight into what this could be. So, yeah, he's been gaining all of that from the team. He's the regionals, all of that kind of thing. Not quite sure, right? Eternal MMA, I think that's a good promotion. But, yeah, it's just all about, what are those fights saying, right? What's this caliber of fighter like? Because we've seen as people step up, they're not able to get it done in the same way. But Ollie, he's got nothing to lose, right? Nothing to lose in this one. So he's gone up against freaky Marwan Rahiki. He's 23, 5'8", 72-inch reach, 8-0 pro record. He's on an 8-fight win streak. Came via the Contender Series, won his UFC debut. So the contract, 14th of October 2025. He stopped Anais Malumba in the second round. And same with his UFC debut. Got fired tonight. Stopped Harry Hardwick, right? End of the second, the corner threw in the towel. So impressive, right? Impressive debut. Won that contract well. It's just one of those, it's a similar thing to, Schmid, right? It's just what's that caliber of opposition been like? And, I think with Schmid, you don't know what the amateur experience was like with other people in city kickboxing. That kickboxing, Muay Thai background, right? How many of those fights has he had? But I think when you're just breaking it down, when you're looking at it, just all the information you have in front of you, I think Marwan is a good bet, right? I think it's a great fight. I think Marwan is a good bet. I do like these last two on the main card, right? And our featured bout, the flyweight, Tim Elliott against Steve Erceg. Great freaking fight, people. Really is. Tremendous. Astro Boy, Steve Erceg. He is 30, 5'8", 68.5-inch reach, 13-4 overall. He was, he came to UFC on a bit of a tear, right? He's 4-3 now. He challenged Pantoja for the belt. But, if he hadn't have gone for a takedown, it's a bit like, Cyril Gane against Ngannou, right? Goes for a takedown, and that's it. It just changes the course of everything, messes everything up. You know what I mean? So yes, he, lost to Pantoja. Then Kai Kara-France knocked him out. And then he lost to Brandon Moreno. He's able to turn it around against Ode Osborne. That was August last year. But how's his confidence going to be? He did right the ship, which is good. But yes, that's the big one, right? That is definitely the fault. Now, he's definitely skilled, right? He's definitely skilled, Erceg, which is part of the thing that makes it such a fun fight, right? Because Tim Elliott he is a funky motherfucker, right? He came to the UFC via The Ultimate Fighter. It was season 24, and with this season, everyone who entered was a regional champion, right? Because Demetrius, he was running through everyone. So they were like, let's make The Ultimate Fighter around Demetrius, and the winner gets a crack at the belt, right? So Elliott, he beat Charlie Alans, Matt Schnell, Eric Shelton, and Hiramosha Ugakubo, right? All of that to get that shot at Demetrius. And if I remember correctly, he had Demetrius in, a couple of tough, situations, but, it's Demetrius, right? But Elliott, he has fought, so many good fighters, right? Surak Askurov, Davison Figueiredo, Brandon Royval, right? Matthias Nikolai, right? Just so many great oppositions. So it hasn't necessarily always gone his way. And especially, you think we hit a bit where you're thinking, maybe, right? Maybe he's coming to the end kind of thing. But turned it around. Got a great win over Suramajaji, triangle. And then guillotine Kaya Sakura, which I didn't see coming. I took Asakura in that fight, right? So Elliott, man, he's a funky cat, right? And I think Erceg has got the sharper striking, Elliott, he's so unorthodox, and I don't think Erceg has fought anyone like him. Yes, Pantoja brings pressure, right? But it's more controlled than what Elliott is. Just, you have no clue what the fuck Elliott's going to do, right? And I think that's what makes this fight so fun, you know? Erceg is very precise. Elliott is balls to the wall. Whew, it's a fantastic fight, right? To take us to that and then headline spot. I think I'm going Elliott for the win, you know? I just think it's just the nature of his attack. I think it's going to flummox Erceg a little bit, you know? But yeah, this is great. This is a great fight. Looking forward to it. People, who have it you got?